Why the F would I sponsor you? That's what they think. What are you gonna do for me? Oh, I'm an artist. They don't care about if you're an artist. I think it's good for you to hear that, because all we hear is there's no money in photography. I figured out the feast or famine thing a long time ago. I have 6 revenue streams coming into my business. A lot of folks who are at the top, they do not share information. Really, what do people say about me when I say something like that? Arrogant.
Or rich.
Or rich. Yeah, that works too. But that's good news, because the fact that it's not luck means it's attainable. Anytime you enter into a relationship with somebody, you have to look at it as, how can I benefit you? If you listen to this, this will change your business. Sugar daddy, right? This isn't arrogance talking, this is truth. I just played a little bit of the piano for you guys. If I was here by myself, no joke, all lights off. I don't need the lights on to play the piano. I absolutely love just getting down, and I'd go nuts. Usually I can go about 30, 45 minutes before my back starts getting sore from sitting on a bench. Then it's just like, okay, it's time to do something else. But like, it would be amazing for me to listen to the sounds of the street, listen to the sounds of the city, incorporate some of that feel into the music that I'm creating. That's not pre-rehearsed songs or whatever, it's just what I felt like playing at that moment. I think that's important to talk about, because on our first ever Photographers Unite event in LA, we had a piano. I didn't get a chance to play it. We had 300 people at that event, and that was nuts. Tonight we have a full house, but we have a smaller capacity, so there's 60 of you guys here tonight in New York, and I'm grateful to all of you guys for coming. I'm going to talk to you tonight about magic, right? And I know y'all are sitting out there saying, magic, WTF, man, I came here for photography. My life, my job, my career, pretty much everything I've ever done comes as a result of magic. I think that there are many things that we let pass. There are opportunities that we let slip through our fingers that are opportunities that are sometimes we can never get back. And those opportunities are the ones that we turn into what we call regret, right? Those opportunities that are right there in our hands, but we don't dive in fully. We don't invest in ourselves, and we don't do the things that are scary. We don't. We like to be in our little cocoon and safe. I feel like if I'm not moving, if a part of my life is in some way not unpredictable, then I'm not trying hard enough. I constantly live my life thinking that everything I'm doing today will be different tomorrow. Everything that I have made money off of, built my business off of, could change in a heartbeat. I built a very successful wedding photography business. And I did that through working hard and doing what you're supposed to do, right? And then I heard that the way photographers made money in the wedding industry was to start getting a name for yourself and then booking extra weddings and more weddings and more weddings. And when you got full, you started hiring associate photographers and people to shoot on your behalf, right? There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I felt like, I had to have a hard conversation with myself in regards to, do I want to do that? Do I want to be a photographer, or do I want to be strictly the runner, owner, operator, entrepreneur of a business? Yes, you guys hear me talk all the time about business. And if you listen to this, this will change your business. It will. Because your attitude and the way that you approach these moments in your life will alter your success, good or otherwise. And I decided I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to live my life, managing Quisha and Allie and Maddie and Jade and whoever else shooting weddings for me. That wasn't going to be my life. My life wasn't going to be full of that stuff. I had already left an incredibly successful hotel career and left it to be a photographer. I had done I'd done my deal of running big businesses. I was a president of a big laundry company after I left hotels. That's something I've just recently started sharing. I did that for 5 years. I'm going to talk to you tonight about how your attitude can change everything in your life, including your career. I'm going to talk to you about how my attitude has completely changed my life and my career. I quit hotels. I start doing wedding photography. I start doing it all over the country. And because I wanted to be a destination wedding photographer, so I was going to fulfill that dream of mine. I had to make that dream happen. So many of us sit around and we wait for it to come. We just wait, constantly wait. And, I'd really love to shoot around the world. There's nothing stopping you. And in your heads, I know there's many of you thinking, oh yeah, there is. There's X, Y, and Z. So get rid of X, Y, and Z. Why is so many people make life so hard? And I have a very artistic brain, but I'm very blessed that I have a very analytical brain as well. And when my analytical brain kicks on, I just start to process things and say, and that's why I was good at Six Sigma. Because I could just say, this doesn't work. There's no reason for me to do this. So I started doing weddings all over the place, and I made my dream come true, right? I made my dream, and my dream was to be well recognized. I was voted best photographer in Los Angeles by Fox TV. All this stuff was going on, doing some really cool stuff. I was winning awards at conventions like Photo Plus at WPPI and getting published in magazines. Life was going great, right? Start shooting weddings, going all over the place. I decided to do workshops. And I remember at the time saying, why do workshops? Well, it's simple. Workshops, I don't know, all the big guys do it. All the big guys do it. So I started doing workshops. And in brief, no sob story. It's how I did it. I didn't have the money to do workshops. I didn't even want to pay the extra weight. I did the analytics and did the numbers and said, well, if I pay the extra baggage fee, it's $50 per bag per weigh. That's $200. I might as well just fly out there, get a rental car, drive to Walmart, buy a $20 air mattress, a $20 sleeping bag, keep the heater on at night or the air conditioner on. And I really did this stuff. And I'd sleep in the back of my minivan or SUV. I did that for 2 years, and I would shower and eat at truck stops. Okay? And then the workshop started taking off. Then people started getting to know who I was, and so on and so forth. Then I decided that, hey, I should start putting some of this stuff up on YouTube. Right? So I started putting some stuff up on YouTube. Why are you guys here? YouTube, right? How many of you found me based on YouTube? For the camera's sake, that's everyone. I ended up growing into what you see today. Now, you guys, knowing a little bit of that history, do you think that I'm done? You have no clue what's in this brain. World domination, right, Rod? World freaking domination. A lot of folks who are at the top, they do not share information. Successful people know how to create success. Success is not just something that, if you guys think this is luck, you are off your rockers. But that's good news, because the fact that it's not luck means it's attainable, right? It means you can get there. My friends Rotolight are back in the room. 5 years ago, I met the founder of the company, Rod Sr., at WPPI. Okay? What do most people do when they want to sponsor? What do most people do? They walk up and they say, sponsor me. Well, let me just break it down for you. You know what the sponsor thinks? Why the F would I sponsor you? That's what they think. What are you going to do for me? Oh, I'm an artist. They don't care about if you're an artist. They don't. They're companies. What do companies like to do? Make money. Not just sell. They like to make money. We're talking profit margin. Okay? You guys, anytime you enter into a relationship with somebody, you have to look at it as, how can I benefit you? How can I benefit you? That's something that I learned a very long time ago, right? I'd walk into wedding venues. What do we do now? We walk into wedding venues and say, I want to be one of your photographers. What do they think? What do you think they think when you show them your beautiful images? So what? You and 2,000 other people. You need to walk in there, and before you've shown a single image, you need to walk in there with a game plan as to how you're going to benefit that company. That's what you should be doing. I did that as well. I walked into it's a bed and breakfast called the Christmas House Inn. I stayed there one night. I took a picture in the morning of just hot cocoa with a backfire as a backdrop. The steam from the hot chocolate rose up and it was in the fire, and it's this pretty shot. I showed it to the owner of the bed and breakfast. She's like, oh, that's pretty. And I went back and she goes, yeah, maybe we could do something. But again, she sees all these photographers. They did tons of weddings there. I turned around and I went and looked at her website, and I went back and met with her a week later, and I said, hey, I mean this in all respect. She goes, yeah. I said, I just want to give you some feedback from a photographer's point of view as to how your image is portraying itself. She goes, okay. I said, so are you ready? And she goes, yeah. I said, your website sucks. What? It's horrible. I guarantee you if you work with me, we'll double or triple your sales. Oh, well. What? How much is this going to cost me? Nothing. What? Nothing? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? No, I'm not going to charge you. Because I don't want a one-off. You guys got to understand that about business. Great businessmen and women are not about one-offs. They are about residual income. It is about monthly income. That's a big problem we have in photography. Feast or famine, right? I figured out the feast or famine thing a long time ago. I have 6 revenue streams coming into my business. Something goes down a little bit, I step on the gas on the other. And then when times are really good, the money's just pouring in. I'm being honest. I think it's good for you to hear that, because all we hear is there's no money in photography. No, there's no money for lazy photographers. That's some reality right there. Laziness, I deplore. I detest it. So I went and I said, no, I don't want any money. What do you mean? I said, I'm going to put all the sweat equity in. But I want a 2-year contract with you that you give me every wedding that comes in here. With Jason, we're only doing like 5 or 10 weddings a year. Yeah, I know. I'll give you 40, 50, 60. There's no way. We've never done that. Yeah, once I start shooting it, you will. Now, what do people think when I say stuff like that? Really, what do people say about me when I say something like that? Arrogant. No, I get the arrogant one a lot. When I say that to a business owner, you know what she thinks? Who the freak does this guy think he is? But hell, I'll give it a try. I mean, what do I have to lose? Guys, the world is so full of BS. If we can get past the BS and talk straight to people and say, I'm going to do this for you. And in return, you keep your commitment and you do this for me. If we can do that, we're going to be copacetic. We are going to fly. Keep your word, I'll keep mine. Right? So I said to her, I'll put in all sweat equity for you. All you have to do is keep your word to me. And then she's like, oh, okay. I could tell it was one of those. She was excited, but okay. I said, I'll even run your website for you. Oh, you know how to write code and everything? I said, oh yeah, I can do websites. Well, of course I don't know how to write code, right? But I don't need to. I just know website platforms like Squarespace or others that you put the stuff up on there, you fill in some blanks, you write some text. Boom, you're a website designer, right? Okay, so I put it up there, make the website. She went from a god-awful 1980s, shoulder pad thing to a newly redesigned. I brought in models. Oh, Jason, I can't afford to pay models. No problem. What did I do? What did I do? No, smarter than that. What did I do?
Barter models? Barter?
TFs. I did time for shoots, right? I found a pretty girl and I said, hey, is your boyfriend kind of cute? Because you assume if she's pretty, he's got to be at least a 6 or 7, right? Okay?
Or rich.
Or rich. Yeah, that works too. Sugar daddy, right? But no, I said, hey, why don't you guys, because they had hot tubs at this bed and breakfast, so I said, you guys come in, I'll do a commercial shoot as wedding guests, or no, excuse me, as bed and breakfast guests, right? And then we did all the shoots, and so they could be lovey-dovey and kissy and natural, right? Did TF shoots. They needed a portfolio, and all I had to do was filming them, enjoying a night, and I told them, hey, I told the bed and breakfast, let's just give them a night at the place so they can really enjoy it and experience it. Okay, great. So I booked it so full that they did gangbuster business. Money is what helps make your dreams. It's your passion, it's your attitude, but it's about thinking smart about what you do. Like sometimes we get these crazy notions in our heads as photographers. We really do. Oh, I'm not going to take that job. So you're not going to go down and take a job for an hour and a half to shoot an engagement shoot. They're going to pay you $500. Are you on crack? What other normal job are you going to get paid that? Oh, well, it's more than that. I'm an artist. Please, for the love of God, get over yourself. Get over yourself. That to me is the epitome of arrogance. When we think we're above work. So I did it, and we did gangbuster business for 2 years, and then by the point that the contract came back up, I didn't want the business. I couldn't do it anymore. I could have kept a very thriving business and kept all those photographers, but doing 50, 60, 70 weddings a year for that venue meant I would have no life and I couldn't be doing what I love. But what did I use that money for? What did I use that kind of money to do? Create an empire. Right? So like I said, I met Captain Rod 5 years ago, founder of Rotolight, and saw him at WPPI, and he had some lights. I started shooting with them. I said, hey, I have workshops. He goes, oh, that's nice. Consummate gentleman, not a jerk at all. But that's a very typical and appropriate response. Because how many people walk up to vendors and say, oh, I teach workshops. Yeah, you and every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Understand one thing. If you can move gear, you can work with companies. If you can't move gear, you're not working with companies. Get over yourself and think about how amazing your imagery is. It doesn't matter. I've said it a million times. It doesn't matter how good you are if nobody knows. In other words, if you can't move stuff, they don't care. Same as, think about it as a business. So many photographers don't think about business. So I met him and I bought the lights. I had to put in the sweat equity. I had to put in the money. I bought the lights. I went out and shot with them. I loved them. I did a photo walk. This is at WPPI in Vegas. This 5 years ago. And then I bought the lights. I went back the next day and bought whatever kits they could put together for me. Started shooting with them, posting them up on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. What do all of us do now? Hey, Rotolight. Hey, whatever other lighting company. Here's my image. Sponsor me. Are you guys, come on. I'm trying to tell you how to work it. You got to create it. It's Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. It's true. It works. It's so simple. But so many people are so afraid to work. They are lazy. Lazy. This isn't arrogance talking. This is truth. And it's something that we're missing in our industry. We're missing the truth factor. Everyone sells you these wild-ass dreams that aren't real. Versus somebody like me telling you, this is how you do it. This is exactly how you make it. So Rotolight calls me up 6 months after the fact and says, you know, we noticed more people are buying Rotolight, and a few of them are mentioning your name. I said, yes. They said, we'd like to sponsor you. And I said, okay, great. What are you going to do? They said, we have no idea. I said, cool. They said, what do you suggest? And I said, I have no idea. They had never sponsored someone, and I had never been sponsored. But we figured it out. We figured it out, and we figured out ways to make it work. We figured out ways to tie performance to tie money to performance. Imagine that concept. It's amazing how these fundamental basics in business are lost on us as photographers. It is amazing. I can't tell you how many times Rod has messaged me or said to me in person, it's really enjoyable doing business with you. You just get business. Right? You know your boundaries. You know when to push and you know when to pull back. So I started off by saying magic, guys. How do we create this magic that people want to work with us? All right, this is a cool place to shoot. Get the gear out. Let's this is awesome. Huh?
Let me have your stuff. Imagery. That's what you get for not putting me in a magazine.
You I hate models.
And take your stupid camera too.
One-handed baby.
Ooh, spending money. All right.
She's totally not going on the next trip. Oh! Santa Maria de Guadalupe! Only one chance to get it right. Are you still there? I'm talking to you. If you want to continue this madness online and learn anywhere from the world with me, go to patreon.com/JasonLanierPhotography. And if you want to join this madness, and yes, my crazy but awesome models, go to jasonlanier.com/register and you guys can party and shoot with us anywhere in the world. So until next time, keep shooting. Never give up on your dreams. Find the right gear that works for you, and remember, you only have one chance to get it right. Allie, where's my money? Allie? She freaking left.